Welcome back, boys and girls, to Game 2 of Eager versus Erry Day Carry. So far, Erry Day Carry have done well for themselves, finding that first win up against Eager, but it is a best of 3, so it's not all over just yet for you Eager fans.
Eager having a massive lead in that game, 7,000 up at one point, but I'm gonna keep saying his name. Chapo for me was the man to keep them in it. Late game, I think the whole thing was kind of spread out, but Chapo was just such a distraction. He was honestly a decoy there the entire game. He was just keeping Eager off the Gold Fury. It took them 6 or 7 minutes to finally secure it after a very extended engagement where Eager were winning these fights. They were constantly killing more players than they were losing, but they couldn't secure the Gold Fury, and it took them so long.
Well, let's see if we can see Eager get themselves back into a more dominant position during picks and bans, because the early game, as you said, went in their favor overall. Eager will be first pick. Last time round, they were first pick as well, and we saw Erry Day Carry go for the tier. We'll see if it happens
Just
again.
ban it. Hold on.
Really
Let's wait. Just ban it. Just do it. Just take it away.
Do you need to ban it, though? What about just picking Poseidon? Or Odin?
They could look to first pick Odin.
But
that Odin's not like good against.
Erry Day Carry banned out Odin and Guan again. Kepri was banned by Eager this time, so they wanted a different priority pick this time round. They had Kepri last game for Jellly.
Kali I don't think was banned last game. It's going to be Chronos. Okay, so Chronos is very good at shredding through tier, has a lot of options, and more importantly has the mobility to put space between himself and tier, and that's one of tier's biggest weaknesses, is kind of like getting up close to be able to utilize everything.
Tier locked in for Erry Day Carry again. Not a surprise. What will they pick alongside it? Last time round, I want to say they take Ho Yi here, just in case that Chronos is going to be in the solo lane.
It's going to be Janus, and I like that, because what we saw last time is Eager ban away 4 mages. They banned away the Chronos instead of the Kepri last time, and they combined it with an Isis ban, and I believe, it was another mage ban. Anyways, they banned another mage, and they had picked up a very early Janus. Now you put this in Aggro's hands, who he's phenomenal with. Obviously, the Poseidon had some really good Krakens coming in there, but still probably not something he wanted to prioritize, so taking it away. But speaking of taking away, Eager says, no thank you, Kuang.
And immediately they also pick up Geb for themselves too, which is a great pick against tier, just for those shields to stop those fearless chains from coming out as well. Knockups do hurt him quite a bit too, to be fair. Even though it's only a small knockup, it will impact him. Erry Day Carry will head over to Batz then for weekend, considering he's no longer going to be able to play Kuang this time around.
EDC, their composition looking pretty strong in the team fights here, but Team Eager, what I see from them mostly right now is the term survivability, and it's not just the Geb, it's the fact that all these gods have some pretty useful abilities to get them in and out of fights. Chronos obviously has the rewind, Geb has the shield to keep everyone alive, Kuang has the execute. If he can get in range, it's going to heal him and take him out of the fight, and then obviously the Geb going to be able to shield him if he gets in an awkward spot.
Respect for that. Athena coming out from Eager. They don't want to have to deal with Brochacho on that one more time round. Isis banned by Erry Day Carry to make sure they don't have to deal with that against Janus. Sobek also, so double hits to the support here.
So last game it was a let's target out Aggro's god pool, and now it's a let's target out Brochacho's god pool. He could look to go the support now, or he could save it for the final counter pick.
He's when he used to play on the PC, he did have a very good Ares. I'm not sure how well he's transitioned that over to
Ares actually really
the console scene.
Ares actually really good here, in my opinion, especially against the Geb, the Kuang.
Well, Xbalanque slips through this time as well. Going to be picked up by Erry Day Carry. I believe they banned that last time around, correct?
Yes, they banned it in that second phase. I'm a little bit surprised here, because I think you could have looked to last pick your Hunter, depending on what Eager wanted to go into, but this could be them knowing Eager from scrims and knowing that AirCougar very good on this god. But I think Ares is the best. You brought it up. Ares is the best option here. It's so good against both Kuang and Geb. Can really shut him down, but you do run the risk of getting burned. Chronos is very good at killing Ares.
Chronos is kind of rough.
Chronos is very good against any frontliner, especially good against Daenerys, but I just think there's so many options to shut down this core from Team Eager that it's worth the risk. And you have the Batz and Janus for peel as well for the Ares. There's so many options to get the Ares out of danger.
Neith also locked in for Team Eager for their Hunter role. So a nice rounded composition, and we're more than likely going to see Chronos. I want to say we're going to see Chronos in the duo lane and Neith in mid here. I feel that
probably.
Way. The Neith Kuang, because Kuang and Kuang Chronos are going to be a little bit slower wave clearing otherwise. Neith will help Kuang through the early game a little bit more. Kumbhakarna, the final pickup for Brochacho. The boys are Erry Day Carry with the areas that we suggested, but Kumbhakarna locked in and does have the ability to knock people out of fights, which is very, very important.
Kumba pretty good here too. Is going to be able to root the Geb rollout or ult him, knock him away. Has a lot of options, and more towards he's better at peeling for the Xbalanque. That's one of the things that we saw from that last game is that Jellly was actually kind of the front liner for the team, and we actually saw him get picked off many times for Eager. And couldn't really get these defensive ultimates off because he was the one that was just getting piled on. Didn't really have the positioning he needed. So I think what we're going to see from Brochacho here is a very defensive-oriented playstyle where his entire job is going to be stick onto Zachsy and Aggro and keep them alive. Because Aggro also was getting dove a lot that last game.
Well, start the game, Elchapo once again going for that Transcendence rush on the tier alongside some potions. Not picked up a relic just yet, but we'll see where he ends up going with that. It will be Marina mid lane on the Chronos, though. So wave clear early. I want to say, honestly, it should go Janus on Batz's favor in the early stages for Erry Day Carry in that mid lane engagement.
Yeah, it's not like... Here's the thing, is that neither of these teams have, like, the best wave clear.
They don't have ISIS, right?
If EDC have control of the wave, it's going to be free, right? As long as they can make it there. The Hunbat's overhand smash combined with the unstable vortex, if they get the entire wave, that's going to clear it, I think, at level 2. And so Chronos and Kuang are going to have to play a little bit defensively. But if they get control of the lane, it's not like the Janus Hunbats can put themselves in a position to free clear and kind of wrestle that control back.
Well, build-wise between the junglers a little bit different too. Hunbats for Weekend has the power pot online there. Meanwhile, you can see, I believe that's a tiny trinket picked up right now.
Oh, wow.
For Myflin on that Kuang, so extra sustain coming out there. Potentially investing in a poly very early.
Probably going to be a poly early, or it could just be going into other abilities and just he wants that tier 1. He thinks it's more effective than other tier 1s, and then going into the poly late game.
Kuang and the boys of Eager actually took the right harpies there at the beginning of the game and then blue buff, so back balls are available. And Eager, with that push in the mid lane now, they're actually going to get to these left harpies earlier. I'm going to trade out here a little bit. They want to respect Weekend and that power pot, but well, Weekend wants to respect that Chronos, I want to say that.
So at the very least, they can't contest mids. Weekend's not going to let it go for free, and I like this decision. Does Weekend have jump or does he have 2?
We'll find out when he...
Oh, this is really awkward now from Weekend.
He might go for both here. They're looking to try and pick him up. He's not going to get any farm in mid lane at the moment. Instead, he's going for this left-hand camp. The fight's still going on the mid lane there as the wave's been pushed. He gets one of the creeps. Marine is now here, and he's lost farm in mid lane. And this is reset again.
This is incredibly sloppy from EDC there. Most notably, Weekend only getting one camp and missing a lot of that wave as well. And actually, Delta Marine going to put out a lot of poke.
Yeah, Aggro getting their punish for that. This creep is still alive.
Weekend still. Oh, the blink for Brochacho. Where does he come from?
Well, he's going to look for the pressure onto Kuang here. Going to get the flop off. And Weekend gets first blood with that jump in. Jumps to Marine there with the monkey. But Brochacho, the one making the impact in this game with that fantastic rotation.
I was just looking at kind of the 2v2, but Brochacho... I'm not exactly sure what happened there because we actually saw Geb as well rolling out just after him. This was someone not paying attention in comms because Jellly was chasing them. I have to assume he was calling the rotation, and that was simply someone, most notably Myflin, not paying attention to it.
I also think the blink made an impact as well. Just the gap close that he had to get in there as quick as he did really hurt them, and Myflin did fall down. And in the end, that ended up working out for Weekend then, because Weekend had made a bit of an error there. He'd lost some farm in mid and not picked up both the harpies, so it didn't work out well for his trade. But getting that first blood has now put him in a good position and actually ahead of his mid laner in terms of farm now.
Right-hand side, though, Dwurst is getting pressured out here by this tier, although has a slight experience lead. You can see Chapo having to finish the entire wave before hitting level 5. Dwurst was already level 5 without clearing his archer, so I'm assuming that was a little bit of fire elemental control. And you can see Chapo also has not taken his board just yet, so Dwurst, it seems, was controlling this in the early game.
I think Elchapo has to be very careful in this lane too up against Dwurst because the early game is all Ravana here. He's a boxer. He's brutally going to beat you down over and over. Ow.
What were you saying?
I mean, he shouldn't have lost that trade, to be fair, but okay.
What
that was
you
just
saying?
really good fearless. I was like, oh, okay. I'm just going to sit and watch it.
What are you saying? You do not ever speak negatively about Chapo again, Hindu. Ever.
We'll see if he wins the game. Cougar under pressure has to use Purification, going to get rooted as well. Looking for the backplate, potentially epic uppercut gets used, but this is buying time for Geb to roll back in. And they realized they'd used everything, and they didn't find the kill. Cougar, with the unravel on the weave on the ground, kept himself alive.
A double heal, basically, for those who don't know. And that's staying pretty useful. Honestly, the epic uppercut, not needed. The team didn't have the burst, and that's one of the weaknesses of Xbalanque. Ever since the poison darts nerf, not as effective, but Weekend looking for something here in mid.
Still looking for the pressure really onto Myflin. There's through space and time from Aggro was the one that found the real pressure connecting that. Blink over from Kumbhakarna, however, did hit Chronos, but then no follow-up.
3 quick kills for EDC. 3 minutes in. I believe it took much longer for us to see the first blood. Looks like Chapo's in trouble here. Dwurst, does he have ultimate? Doesn't even need it. It's going to be the root, and he's going to find the return kill. We've seen this from Chapo before.
I know.
When he gets a kill by himself, he immediately gives it up by dying.
What I was going to say about this matchup is the fact that he's got to be careful about the early game aggression that can come out from a Raven. Yes, he's gone for Transcendence, but until that's stacked, Raven will put it out a lot more early. And because we saw Raven die first, he went back, got Warrior Tabby, and traded it out because of his better damage in the lane then.
And wow. Oh, this goal difference as well. I mean, Chapo got a first blood. Just the direct in the soul lane. Chapo got a solo first blood, which means a 500 gold swing in his favor. And you could see Dwurst already a 300 gold lead over him. That is a massive swing. I don't know exactly what's happening over in that soul lane, but Chapo's an experience when it comes to laning phase, I think, still showing. Obviously, team fighting, he is phenomenal, but still a newbie in that regard.
Red buff going to be taken down by Chronos here for Igor alongside his jungler and now Kuang, but 3 members of Erry Day Carry are grouped on that left-hand side looking for a potential pick. They will just get the Harpies, but look at the Jewel on our screen again.
Yeah, definitely.
What were you saying?
This laning phase is really bad from Chapo. You can actually see him tank archers after healing off them and then try and fight against the 3 archers and Dwurst's Ravana.
Overhand smash comes out from Weekend Epic uppercut to get Brochacho out of danger. Finn and Weevil will also support him as well. Marine, the shield from Jellly was godlike.
I couldn't even see his health bar.
That was godlike.
Oh my. I want to see the replay and see what health he was at. He had to be lower than 5.
There'll be some salt
He was
inside
2.
of Erry Day Carry
I
right
bet
now.
you he was 2 HP. I could not even see that health bar. It looked entirely like a shield.
Absolutely godlike shield coming out from Jellly there. He's even jumping for joy right now. As they head over to the left-hand side, looking to try and steal away some farm in the jungle, but there's nothing available. Instead, they may look for Zachsy here, who's at half health, but he realizes the rotation could have been coming, so backs way up to the tower now, and that leaves Cougar with the opportunity to start making a rotation himself. Blink from Kumba, however.
Seen this before. Myflin
Pressure.
gonna get a shield just a second too late. Aggro's unstable vortex though, still swinging. You can see. Soul lane, after getting the first blood solo kill. Oh no, that wasn't first blood, so it wasn't 5. Okay, I was wrong back then. But still, after giving a solo kill on Dwurst, now just 2 levels behind. Dwurst in full control of this, and it's going to be really hard for Chapo because he has invested in this Transcendence, which is kind of a you should really look to focus on farming kind of style. A Frostbound Hammer coming out for Dwurst, this is only going to accelerate this 1v1 for him.
Agreed, quite potentially as well. AirCougar has, sorry, not AirCougar. Zachsy gone back to base there. Picked up boots again, got poked out a little bit. Just going to continue farming up that Transcendence. Elchapo under pressure again. And the Frostbound Hammer is coming online soon for Dwurst as well, which means escape is going to be near impossible from this Ravana as this continues.
You can see a bait coming out. Look at these mid-harpies. They're waiting for someone. It's got to be Jellly, but the ultimate is just off. Jellly, you could see red that the gank was there, immediately turned 180 degrees, backed away, and just out of range of Epic Uppercut.
Mid lane has been already spoken about too much this game, and I say that through space and time from Aggro all the way to the right-hand side. Looking for a pick on Dwurst. He's got reinforcements coming, but so is Geb. Got spotted out, so they won't end up turning up for that little fight over there. But good Batz in mid lane is Doom Orb online already for Aggro. Meanwhile, we can see the Helm coming out once again for Marine.
And Aggro actually a 400 gold lead on its direct opponent. So you can see right now this Janus is feeling real good. 0 deaths to his name, wants to probably work on his penetration boots before he forces anything too much. The ults from Weekend, very good so far. We actually saw one over in the left-hand side Harpies when we saw that the godlike shield from Jellly.
Yeah.
Not only saves his support player, but also obviously almost kills Delta Marine just off the mark.
Yeah, and it actually helped the first blood in the mid lane as well with Aggro hitting the through space and time. On to Myflin in that early stage of the game. Traveler Shoes online for both supports again, which isn't a surprise. We've seen it more and more often. Not just because of the gold, not just because of the mobility, but it's also because of the HP 5. It means you don't have to buy healing pots anymore.
That's one thing as well. Really powerful, especially if you combine it with Sovereignty, which gives 25 on its own. I mean, you'll see supports with 60 HP 5 sometimes where obviously it's not going to help you survive burst like pure protections will or pure raw health. But if you're not in a fight for a good minute or two, you're going to be back up to full. It's going to allow you to not have to back as much.
Well, the big key is about a support player as well is that when you go back to base, you can't necessarily buy a health potion and a mana potion because you've got to buy wards too. So, well, if you can stop having to buy one set of potions a little bit earlier, great. It means I can get wards and still have some sustain by getting the other version. Left-hand side pressure onto Zachsy. Everything's used on him already. And there's an execute. Good night, sweet prince.
Also, actually got Zachsy to use his ultimate. A little bit scared there, which means Darkest of Nights won't be available for another 90 seconds. This is kind of a small window that Eager might be able to abuse, because that's one of the hardest things when you gank a team that has a Xbalanque. The second that Darkest of Night comes out, it basically stops you in your tracks, because you only have a very small window to see. You also have to time the movement to where you're not moving the second it goes off, so you're not stunned. It's a very good defensive ultimate, or very good aggressively if your team's looking for ganks.
Pretty good god against Neith as well. That World Weaver can't make the impact. If you see her looking to channel it, you could potentially just ult in response. Just get rid of a vision completely, especially when you know a team fight's coming. And a lot of the gods on that side definitely rely on sight.
I'm a big fan here of Blinken. We've seen this before from Bro Chacho. He's going to be looking for Delta Marine. There's the shield a little bit early. Purification Forged as well, but Myflin, he's rotated in immediately. Fear no evil, though. Weekend can't find Jellly. Jumps over the wall.
Very messy fight between the two teams there. Nobody really coming out on top of it. Jellly, to be fair, with a very good ultimate just to stop and slow things down and line Myflin in. Right inside, going to tune in again. Dwurst taking a bit of punishment there. Transcendence is fully stacked now, so Chapo doing a lot of poke, but you can see the return damage ain't something you can forget from a Ravana in the early game.
And now, left-hand side, invade coming out. Myflin is invisible here. He's only level 10, so doesn't have his blink online yet as he went Purification for his first relic. The second that blink comes online for an Kuang, it becomes a completely different character.
Is that Govio been started by the boys of Eager? Chronos is there with
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
They are currently doing it.
Zoning.
And Myflin, well, they're well aware of this going on. They're not aware of this going on, I should say. Janus may find out in a second.
Oh, it's done.
But it's already down. Eager, get a free goal Fury 10 minutes in, and Erry Day Carry must be kicking themselves for that.
You can see through space and time was available, but just EDC caught sleeping there. 2,000 gold lead in favor of Eager off of that one, and solidifying himself a little bit.
Look at the player damage.
I'm looking at the player damage.
Do you see something that's crazy?
Is it?
Is it?
Neith has 2008, right?
true.
And we're 2016, so it's like.
Well, we're less than 11 minutes in the game, and someone is
667
is getting towards 1,000 damage per minute. That's pretty insane.
Oh, the Robin, yeah.
Yeah. That big blue bar at the top.
But no, I mean, we've seen this. It's just Dwurst has been bullying Chapo.
But that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, Chapo has his heal, and that's the thing. We saw him be very aggressive in lane, and every time we've since gone over to there, we've seen Chapo sitting at his tower. So he seems to be much safer now, going to be able to secure his blue buff away from Dwurst. Although Dwurst stole the small XP and.
But that's a full Frostbound hammer now, so Chapo's going to have
Chapo
to
needs to like ult.
And Dwurst will chase because he's got an ult too, and Will Weaver will follow
He's done
in as well.
Unless someone can
Body
intercept
block,
this.
great play from Chapo to use his team as a body block. Maybe they can find the pick on Dwurst now with a Fear no evil, but Jellly in the right time
He
when
does
needed
not
to.
care.
Now he's going to look for weekend. Dwurst is off.
Wow, just no fear. Dwurst going to pick up weekend there. There's the meditation as well, and this is. See, this is the scary part of Soul Lane.
Meanwhile, while this is all going on, left is being pressured. Zachsy, half health, being forced away, and you can still see Myflin hovering around looking for a pick. Not going to find it thanks to the Rising Jaguar. However, they will get pressure on the Tier 1 tower in mid and left side because of this, and right side.
Aggro going to take a time stop, but Delta Marine doesn't have the rift to follow up, and that should be a tower on the left-hand side. Zachsy can't really defend this, and you can see the rotation coming out from Aggro. Zachsy going to have to jump away.
But he will be okay for now. Elchapo backed off on that tier there. There is a rotation to the left now, but it's a little bit late. And Jellly in the jungle, he will be able to keep them away from going any more aggressive.
Can we see gold in hand real quick? I'd like to see how much we have coming out from this Robin. So 1,300 has enough to finish Breastplate, just finishes it. Oh, wow. And that's the thing, right? In that last engagement where we saw Dwurst just manning up, almost killing Chapo, and then killing Weekend, and then fighting against 3.
But this is where Chapo is really strong, when he starts making the rotations, and he just forced a rewind off Marine immediately. Marine, though, feeling himself, gonna actually force that purification from Aggro there as well in response, so a bit of a trade-off in that mid lane. Level 12 and 13 for the two mid laners, but neither of them picked up a relic just yet.
Weekend not recognizing Dwurst behind him. He's going to be chased. His jump is down. Fear no evil. It is up in case he needs to use it defensively, but this is all Eager, and they're going to find Aggro caught at the blue buff.
Oh, the burst on Elchapo was enough for him to be disappeared as well. Marine gets that kill for himself. Now they can even look at Weekend here. Dwurst thinking about it for a second. They may just look for the tier 1 tower. This is something Eager's very good at, is getting an objective after the fact they get a fight.
That was a cheeky little play from Weekend there. You can see as soon as the Wildstorm is about to be cast, he actually teleports to the Kuang, avoids it, but his ult not going to find anything. It's going to be another tier 1 in the mid lane, a tier 1 in the right lane, and a tier 2 as well in the mid lane. It looks like if Delta Marine and AirCougar combine. What has happened? I mean, this was a dead even game in all essence, and just all of a sudden every single tower is just gone.
The weave connected from Cougar there. Now you're going to see Wicked
No
Jump doesn't have fear in a weave, although Sanctuary well placed from Cougar to make sure he got away. Rotation around the back though is here from Myflin with Jellly with that big knock-up. Burst on Weaken. Weaken does not have somersault for another second just yet. Oh, Myflin uses his auto, slows himself down. Weaken gets out, but Dwurst is going in.
Really big play coming out from Aggro there. You could see the team continue to chase. A couple more autos. Brochacho's going to fall. Oh, but look at this. Chapo in the back going to find 2 into the Phoenix. Myflin going to teleport out. I really like the decision on that. Dwurst still alive.
Oh, he juked it out with the overhead kick. Perfectly timed, and now Elchapo's trying to make something happen still. Shield from Jellly, keeping him alive for now, but Dwurst will fall down finally. Gives a moment for Fear No Evil to go off.
Teleport, he does it.
As well. Back in it, a Erry Day Carry though, but they lost a lot of towers still.
Myflin, he's on full retreat. Delta Marine looking for Chapo, and this is the strength of Chronos. Very good against frontliners. Chapo not recognizing that, and Delta Marine, I mean, he's just got so much penetration in his kit as well. 25 raw pin, and you could just see, right, 11 minutes. This is a 1,000 goldie, not even. That's like a 500. And then all of a sudden, tower after tower and kill after kill. 6,000 now. Eager has found themselves up in simply the past 4 minutes.
After the first blood in the mid lane, every lane of Ego is winning by the end of it. We saw Elchapo win for a little bit over in that solo lane, but then once we saw Dwurst come back to that lane, every lane of Ego is winning, time and time again. And from there, they've just been able to push that further advantage and take the towers down with it. Neith is out pushing the Xbalanque. The rotations have been good from them overall, and Aggro's not really been able to get himself in this game so far.
I mean, you can just see this XP per minute chart, right? Geb is higher than 3 players coming out from EDC.
2 of them are carries.
Yeah, and carries that they need to actually carry them as well. Mid lane,
from Elchapo, going to avoid the Fearless thanks to Purification, but he's going to actually ult Aggro there to try and create some room, but he's still going to go down through space and time. Brochacho gets credit with the in-hand Mace of Doom.
Neith charging ultimate. It looks like Dwurst wanted to fight, but Gold Fury, the fight reigns on. Epic Uppercut used on Jellly. He doesn't really care about that. He's just going to tank it up in the face, and now EDC. They're going to have to back off, but I mean, this Chronos.
Marine is going off right now. Marine's such a good mid laner so right now.
Yeah, Unrelinquished actually playing for the PC Elevate last year.
Oh, okay.
For a little bit. I believe he was solo. He switched over to solo lane now.
He's on a good performance. Awesome assault from Weaken. Has to fear no evil. Dwurst eats that one ult for ult. He won't be sad as his team get the Gold Fury at 17 minutes in this one. It's going to be tough for Erry Day Carry to get themselves back in this now.
This is a train. And Eager is not stopping. I mean, they are just plowing through EDC. It's been just from a 500 gold lead to, I believe now, what is this, 8,000 in 6 minutes? Like, it's just not stopping. It's just like every time EDC spawns, they're getting pressured. They're losing an objective. They're losing a player. They're losing a buff. And Eager have just everything going right for them right now.
I like the call from Zachsy there. He threw out the poison and went, no, I'm not going to fight you. You're 2 levels over me. It's okay. I'll just walk back away. But you will lose that poke war, my friend. Take that.
So EDC definitely need to be playing as a team. And that's the thing about Eager right now is there isn't really much for them to take on the map. There's 2 towers. Their buffs are down. You see Weekend heading over to his red buff. EDC really need to fight as a 5-man team, but I talked about it at the start in the picks and bans that Team Eager, it's a very self-sustaining composition where, you know, the rewind coming out from Delta Marine, right? We have, ooh, look at this.
They're making a hard engage here, looking for the pick onto Kuang in the jungle, but he's an illusion. Weaken timed it right, but it lasted long enough for him to get away, and he will blink out of danger. Jellly was around for support too, going to get rooted and fear no evil, but it is a Geb after all. They're wasting a lot on him. He still cataclysms too, knocks up Weaken. Will Weaver coming in, epic uppercut used on a Geb as well, who's still alive. All that used, and they don't find a kick.
3 ultimates, and he's still sitting at 33% life. EDC simply don't have the damage right now. And this Janus, honestly, I mean, he's got penetration boots. You can see his second item. He's also got the obsidian shard. It's simply the fact that this Geb has so much base health right now, in addition to an Urchin that's stacked up. Breastplate of Valor, he had tier 2 magical defense as well. There's just a lot of protections. This Geb honestly just has a lot of gold.
Marina's
is the biggest
bursting Brochacho in the jungle while the rest of Eager start to focus on the tier 2 here. Dwurst on the front line, going to put a beat down onto Aggro, who's trying to run, but he's so slow, and Myflin joins the fight, picks up the kill, didn't even need the execute. Elchapo has turned up as well, but what can he do?
I mean, just look at this damage. Dwurst sitting at 17,000, doubling basically everyone in this game right now outside of Chapo and Delta Marine, and it is just very hard for Team Eager to fight him. And that's the thing. Dwurst has been this frontliner that's just been dealing with these carries in the backline. He just does so much damage, even to Weekend. Like, Weekend just gets two-shot by a warrior, and Brochacho as well.
This just feels like night and day between game 1 and game 2. Eager got the lead in that one, and they didn't let it, so they let it slip in game 1 and game 2. They're not giving them the opportunity whatsoever to do that. They're just systematically tearing apart every single tower, every single objective, time and time again. They're not falling for the bait of Erry Day Carry saying, oh, we've got to disengage. I guess that's also the fact they don't have to worry about executes coming out from an Kuang this game.
Wow.
It's making an impact.
A tier 2 tower. The last tower for Eager going to be finished off at about 20 minutes. We see Chapo trying to make something happen over the right-hand side. He's going to find Delta Marine. Rewind is available, though.
He just gets stunned as well, but he's still going to turn it around, get his stun off, and return the damage back. And we'll actually see Aggro take out Marine there. Chapo living with the barriers of health, as does Jellly for a second. Weekend was looking for it. Will Weaver from Cougar to buy him a second. Jellly still trying to bait him in here with the knock-up as well, which is why
he's shield.
Is his shield up?
No. Really long cooldown. Dwurst able to take out Aggro on the back line. Weekend, he's going to be rooted. Purification just a second too late. And over on the right-hand side, Brochacho, he's left alone trying to fight off these two players. Dwurst, honestly, could just chase him down.
Jellly kind of outplayed himself then. I guess he was hoping AirCougar would get the kill beforehand and make sure he got kill the Weekend, but ended up trading out, which is unfortunate for him. It was very unlucky, though.
His shield had to have been up in just a second.
It must have been, otherwise he wouldn't have been hanging around the way he was doing. Unfortunate circumstances for him, however, Eager still happy to get the tier 2 tower. They can start looking for a fire giant if they wanted to right about now. With a 15,000 experience lead and a 10,000 gold lead.
At 21 minutes.
Not a whole lot Erry Day Carry can do.
I mean, they're going to have to really rely on Eager making mistakes, and we saw it just there. Delta Marine electing to save his ultimate because he wanted to kill Chapu, which he can. He did have the damage. Unfortunately, though, Aggro connecting a fantastic snipe, taking him out, and then Jellly getting very low and kind of baiting himself. So Eager making a few mistakes. Honestly, the kills aren't that far apart, right?
No.
12-8 is not an immense kill lead. We've seen players or teams down, right? It could be EDC up gold. We've seen that happen before, but unfortunately, it's just been Eager really splitting the map, allowing EDC to kind of run in circles and just always be in these awkward spots.
Talk about awkward spots. Eager has control of the God Fury pit. No, they don't actually. There's a ward down for Erry Day Carry, but God Fury has spawned up now, and they're going to start looking for that. 2 members still in base, however, so they'll have to just hover around for now, wait for reinforcements to arrive, try and create a zone and look for some poke damage, and that's exactly what Marine and Jellly are looking to do.
Horde going to be countered in the top mid-RP is Brochacho's dead. One more hit. Oh, Fear No Evil actually not there in time,
Sleepy
and Brochacho
time,
should live.
Rewind time. 2 different times of time, but his Chronos is still alive right now. Brochacho going to have to limp back as well after using that. And Zachsy's caught in an awkward spot there. Luckily, rising Jaguar to the rescue. Are you serious?
2 members of Eager going to be starting this up, and EDC have no idea. There's literally zero knowledge of this. Even if, and this is the thing, Eager aren't even going to commit to this gold tier. Anytime EDC walk in, they're just going to reset it.
If they get both, I'm done. All right, Fire Giant goes the way of Eager. Gold Fury being a shame. Chapo goes and gets a fill.
They need to fight this. They need to fight this now.
But good poke onto AirCougar, but he backflips away. Meanwhile, in mid lane, his team are now rotating in. Jukes out the Lawbringer. Myflin comes in and evaporates Zachsy. Fire Giant online, and now they all know it.
Weekend, for some reason, farming up the left-hand side lane, doesn't rotate in. And EDC, they had a small window to win 5 versus 3. There's going to be Weekend executed as well. He's actually one hit. Myflin's going to finish him anyway, and now Chapo, he's not as tanky as he was last game. This time he's up against a Chronos. It's going to be 4 dead, and Eager, honestly, no towers left to take. Could just walk in and this right now.
That call for the Fire Giant.
Beautiful.
Really well played. That was an insane call. Honestly, I've not seen a call like that for a long time. That's why I'm so surprised. Like, They had a fight over the Gulf Area potentially. You saw Erry Day Carry group up for it. And to just send 2 men and realize that they could do that, and the fact that everybody else on the other side, Erry Day Carry didn't recognize it. And to be fair, to Erry Day Carry, you may go, hang on, where's Al Kuang? Well, you know, it's
Al Kuang. He's probably like sneaking
and where's
around.
the solo laner? Well, to be fact, it's a solo. He's probably doing his blue buff or back harpies or something. So you didn't miss those two, but they were enough to win the game.
Beautifully
Insane.
played game by Eager. They're going to force a game 3. EDC have been on the back end of the starts of both games. This time, though, Eager playing a much more consolidated game. Also, honestly, Chapo got so far behind that he couldn't really be that distraction heading in to the mid game like we saw him last game because he was just getting blown up. And honestly, the Chronos, they baited tier that time. The Chronos is phenomenal against warriors, especially tier, and they just completely abused him.
I mean, to be fair as well, we did see First Blood go the way of actually Erry Day Carry here. And this
First
was
3 kills.
And this was Elbro Chacho for me that made the play. That blink was huge.
Just kind of an early rotation. You don't really see that too often, and nothing Myflin can do there. Really well played coming out from them. Geb, you saw him rotating as well. And I'm pretty sure that was a little bit of a miscommunication because Jellly, obviously, immediately following Brochacho, had to have been making the call, but Myflin, you mentioned it in the cast, not really expecting that blink.
And to be fair with Myflin as well, like he had a very good game towards the end, but Dwurst allowed them to get towards that stage early from a good performance from him once he got himself in the game.
This was, okay, so this is after Dwurst had already died, and he's just going to turn it around. Chapo tanking archers twice. That was just very awkward.
Yeah, you can see this engagement here where he gets hit by the Fear No Evil, turns it around, realizing that now that's down, they don't have anything else left, so
this is
goes
brutal.
to the pressure onto Weaken, gets the kill. The uppercut was a little bit too late from Brochacho and still gets out.
This was the start of the end, right? It was like, okay, this is a 2,000 gold lead, or about 1,000. It didn't really matter, but then Dwurst invades 1 versus 4. I believe he not only stole the buff, gets a kill while surrounded, then gets out. And EDC, they did their best to hang in, but it was just too little too late.
And for me, Eager seemed to have played this play style of like, okay, Tyr was a really big impact in that last game. You said it yourself, ban it away. Instead, they went, let's go Ravana, let's pick Chronos. Both these gods very, very good against him. We'll also take Geb for the shield in case we need that. And then worst comes to worst, if he gets low health before he heals, we'll take out Kuang as well.
Yeah, and just really well played. We're going to be